Welcome to the channel. You are not stupid. It is just a limiting belief. This is what I discovered for myself. I had a limiting belief where I thought I was stupid. I thought I couldn't learn. What really happened was that I didn't know my own way of learning. Each of us have our own way of learning. We just have to discover it. Where did those limiting beliefs come from? For me, they came from two teachers that called me stupid in front of the whole class. So it went into my subconscious mind and I believed it, and then it just started repeating itself in my mind. Until the age of 30, I believed that I was stupid. I thought I had a learning disability. But in reality, it was that limiting belief. These limiting beliefs, they caused me to live my life the way I was living it up until the age of 30. Once I discovered, I had that epiphany, I'm not stupid. I can learn. That's why now my passion is learning, because if you learn to learn and you learn new skills, those skills open up new opportunities for you. And then you are able to be of more value to your world, whomever you interact with. So, if you have this belief, this limiting belief, if you were labeled, then start doing your own research. If you don't know what limiting beliefs are, you've never heard of them, research those. Research your conscious mind, your subconscious mind. Once I started to research about the human, I figured out my own process of learning. So what works for me is repetition. I learned this from Bob Proctor. You should look him up. Do your own research. If you don't research the information that I share in this channel, then, because that's where I learned it from. I was like, nah, that's BS, it's not true. That's what my mind was telling me, right? But once I landed in prison, I stopped trusting my mind. And I especially stopped trusting other individuals' minds. Unless there was solid proof, science-based proof, then it's like, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not saying yes, I'm not saying no. I'm going to do my own research. I'm going to apply it to my life, see what fruits come out of it, right? And then I'll go from there. Then I'll decide, yes, this works for me. But no, this does not work for me. I'm not going to do that no more. You're not stupid. We are not stupid. It is just a limiting belief. Once you realize that, and you figure out your own process of learning, then that's when you're going to get those insights, and then you're going to start to gain momentum, and to choose to your path, to your best path. I would say I'm going to share with you the information that I have shared, that I have studied, the individuals that have helped me realize this for myself. Dr. Joe Dispenza, Bob Proctor, Les Brown, Tony Robbins. But let's talk about my process, how I have learned to learn what works for me, my inner voice. It leads me to a book. I study it. I listen to that book. If it's 8 hours, if it's 12 hours, I get even more excited. I can't wait to read this 13-hour book, because if it's 13 hours, man, it has 13 hours of valuable information that I don't know about, that other people have lived, experienced, and I can learn from their experiences. And then apply that information, and then have a better experience in my life, experience growth and progress. So, repetition, learned that from Bob Proctor. Immerse yourself in it, right? Be curious about it. What is it that you want to learn about? If, for example, I'm gonna use myself as an example. At that time, the first time that I applied this, that I just realized as I was doing this video earlier, this is the third take that I do with this video. That's when I first started this process. What I do now, what I've been doing for the last since 2015. So I was like, well, I'm allowed to use my headphones while I'm at work. I put in about 11 hours every day, 7 days a week. So I might as well, what if I learn Vietnamese? This was in 2015. So what did I do? I started looking up on YouTube Vietnamese teachers. It was free information. So I started learning it. I started learning through headphones. I began to write it. I began to study the alphabet, the Vietnamese alphabet, and I started to practice it with my coworkers. So 2-3 months later, that's when it happened. I had this epiphany, and I remember I was at work, and then out of nowhere, it was like, I was just going through my day, listening, learning, practicing it with my coworker, and out of nowhere, I just get this like massive epiphany. I can learn. I can learn. I can't believe this. I can't believe this. I can learn. That was the first biggest epiphany of my life. The first miracle that I discovered that I could learn. So that's why I feel like I have to share this information with people, with the individuals, who are interested in this. So I immersed myself into it. I started to research, how do you learn Vietnamese? How do you learn Vietnamese? How do you learn? I learned you have to immerse yourself into it. If I could go to Vietnam and live there, it would have been even better, but I couldn't. But how did I create my own Vietnam? Well, I created a bubble by learning Vietnamese. I started to practice it with my coworkers while I was at work. I started to write it. I started to do all kinds of research. How do other people learn Vietnamese? What is their way that they are learning it? And I started to use apply some of the ways that it worked for them. I tried those ways, and I was just curious about it. I immersed myself into it. I began to apply the information, right, practice it. And I kept on doing it consistently every day. I don't know Vietnamese, but because I didn't continue. But at that time, that was the first miracle that happened. And then I continued to follow that process. That led me to eventually videos, transformational videos, TED Talks, then audiobooks from a TED Talk. This dude was speaking about, I think that he read, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I don't remember correctly, but I believe it was about 200 books. He read 200 books in a year or something. And at that time, that blew my mind. I was like, I couldn't believe it. And I was like, man. So then I started researching. And then I found free audiobooks on YouTube. So I started to swap music for inspirational videos, audiobooks, and TED Talks. And that's the process that I've been following since 2015. The tools that I use is headphones, listening while I'm working, while I'm doing stuff at home, because it's still going into your subconscious mind. And I can be doing some, washing dishes, doing my clothes. So that's the process that I use that has worked for me. And I'm still doing tons of research and just continually and applying new information. So you are not stupid. It is just a limiting belief. do your own research for yourself, apply that information in your life, and see if it works. Not just once. You're not gonna magically get the results in 1 month, right? You're gonna have to be consistent, and you're gonna figure out your own way, and you'll figure out that you can learn. You just have to figure it out. Get curious about it, immerse yourself in it, question it. Yes, is this true? Well, I don't know. Well, apply it. Test it out for yourself. Test it. And then you can go from there. So thank you guys so much for your time. That's what this channel, my intention is just to share, man, this discovery that I discovered for myself that has changed my life for the better. Leave a comment, share this video if you can think of anyone that this video could help, or they think that they can learn, they have been labeled by someone,